Hey, it's Jenny, and I am back to share with you how I plan in my daily pages of my Hobonichi Cousin. It has been a minute since I have shared this process with you. I mean, quite frankly, if ever, I didn't even go back and look and see if I have, but I assume I have at some point since I've been here a minute. But I like to plan basically a week in advance. And when I say a week in advance, I don't always mean like Monday to Sunday based on the way that the days of the week fall in the planner, since I like the two pages on the right and the left to coordinate. I don't always do that. So this week, I think I end on Saturday, and I'm totally okay with that. Now, we are in a transition period. When I say that, I mean that I'm in a place where I'm still currently sort of experimenting. I go through phases where long chunks of time I found something that works. I do that. It's great. Then I get this itch to try something different. So we are in the different period. I've already been doing something different for the last few weeks. And so I'm sort of narrowing it down, if you will. I like to use my daily pages to keep track of my schedule, to keep track of my personal home to-dos, my dinners, and my work to-dos. Now, I also include other things on these pages. These pages really pack in a whole lot. And it's one of the things in 2025 that I want to sort of get to a place of, which is, I don't want to say branching out, but kind of. Bringing another planner into the fold that does something very similar to this because I am just jam packing these pages full of information. And it works, it absolutely works, but I don't feel like I can quite coordinate how they all work together because I'm just jamming so much stuff in here. So, for example, I'll write, oh, I started this new book today. Also add, I finished this book today. I watched this movie. My husband went here for this work trip. Those types of things. And so there are so many things I'm including on these one A5 pages that it's great. I love it. I love having a record of literally everything in one spot. However, it's just a lot, and it's really becoming a little bit overwhelming. So I am now adding some decoration. I added the highlighted areas that are going to be the headers for each section. So schedule, I'm trying to think what the other one is. Today, which means like personal to-dos, basically. Dinner, and to-do, which is work to-dos. Then I like to add a couple of small decor pieces Monday through Friday. I do a little bit more decorating on the weekend since I don't usually have like work to-dos and stuff. And so I do the highlighter first, and then at the end, I go back and I add the stamping. And I do this because when the ink is really wet from the mild liner, then the ink, the stamping ink really soaks in, and sometimes it bleeds through or shadows really super heavily when I've saturated the paper with that much ink. So I just do this, do the highlighter first, then go back later and do the stamping, and it works just fine when it's had a chance to dry. Now, this Cocoa Daisy Cedar and Snow collection is so pretty. It's really got sort of a vintage flair, but not like overly vintage, if that makes sense. You don't look at it and go, oh my God, that's so mid-century modern, or that's so, this, that, or the other. It's just sort of a vintage light. It's very traditional, and then it's got a little bit of vintage thrown in, and it just makes it really, really pretty. And I also love all of the trees and the pine cones and that really natural element that is also included. I'm using stickers and I'm also using rub-ons. And if you haven't used rub-ons yet, I mean, I want to ask you, why not, first of all? But second of all, they're just great. Honestly, and Cocoa Daisies are I've used a lot of them, and honestly, they're about the best quality ones out there at this point. They're so easy to use. They're really buttery. The colors are absolutely stunning. I love them so much. They add zero bulk. So, like when you run your finger over it, you really do not feel it at all. So, if you're a flat type planner, like if you don't want the added bulk, absolutely try some rub-ons because they're magical. And I try to reserve using that when it's really necessary because I don't want to say everything's magical, then it loses its potency, right? Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit of washi tape. And I've been leaning back into washi tape this end of the year. I was not using it for a while there just because I wasn't. It was just not a phase I was in currently. And I'm all about change. I'm all about changing things up in literally every facet of my life. I love embracing different things and stuff. And so I really, really, really wanted to just throw it back in there. There's so many beautiful washi tape designs, and I should absolutely be using those. So I also love the simplicity that a little pop of washi tape can use. So, like for example, here you're just putting one little strip, but it really changes the whole dynamic of the page. And also, in a design standpoint, it absolutely does that as well. So it's just fun and I'm having a great time with it. And that's really, I like to stay organized. I like to stay, like, have my things in a row, but I also really do this for the functionality of the decoration. That actually didn't make any sense. So strike that I just said that. I really do this so that I can have the absolutely the creative angle, right? Like I get to be creative and in this booklet that I get to be super, super functional. And then I have this like record of all of the things too. So it's not so much that I'm trying to make one planner not all of these things, but in the future, I just can see that sometimes this is kind of a lot. So I'm in the phase now where I'm drawing boxes. I've had so many different iterations of how I'm adding my plans to the page. I'm currently in a drawing scenario, and that's twofold. I'm using fountain pens now. And so obviously I wasn't using fountain pens for the first 9 years of my planning journey or whatever. And so using the mild liners to highlight the activities or events just doesn't work with fountain pens. They smear, which is fine. I'm not married to using those. Also, by the way, I'm using my heat tool that I would use to use embossing powder to dry my fountain pen ink only so that I can add the washi tape and not smear the ink. Obviously, the ink dries fairly quickly, but it doesn't dry immediately. And so when I want to do something else, well, I've got to take steps to do that. So that's where the heat tool comes in. So I've also done where I add boxes, like sticker boxes. I've also done where I have just written the things and then used fun little accents as bullet points. And so currently I'm just drawing boxes. I am very much a changer. I like to shake things up. And so that is part of the process. I don't know if you're guilty of this or not, but I am very guilty of going back and looking at old pages and being like, "Oh my gosh, I loved that so much." And then I want to do it again. So that's kind of where we are at with what I'm doing, but I am keeping track of my schedule, my personal to-dos, my dinners, and my work to-dos on these daily pages, and then also incorporating so much more than that, notes and things like that, but then also books that I'm reading, shows and movies that I'm watching, et cetera, et cetera. So it's been it's been a journey, but these A5 daily pages are just they're great. They're really, really great, and they really help me stay organized. Now, the Versa color ink pads, those small little ones, like this is the red one, for example, the ink is really juicy and very, very wet, and it is very, very slow drying, which is wonderful for a lot of reasons. I'm not going to get into this right now because it's not a stamping video. However, what I will say is that if I did not use the heat tool to dry that ink, it would definitely smear. Adding all of this personalization is wonderful, and that's the thing that stamping really helps is that I can change the colors of the inks and the different stamps, and that's just really basic stamping. And I love that, and I love that it's been able to really help me personalize these blank A5 pages. So that is it for me today with my A5 planner. I hope this gave you a good look at how I am decorating and using and setting it up for the week. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment box below, and I will do my best to get back to you. Thank you so much and make it a great day.